Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Zoe and I make motherhood and lifestyle videos. In today's video I'm going to be talking about baby sign language. So I'm just in Nate's little play area at the moment. He's having a nap, so that is why there's some toys behind me. Today I'm going to be talking about baby sign language, and it's something that I've become a bit passionate about since I've seen the results with Nate and how great sign language helps both of us to communicate, I guess, with each other. So I looked into baby sign language. I think Nate was about 7 months old or so, and I sort of came across it and didn't really understand it, wasn't quite sure. I looked into it and watched a few YouTube videos similar to this one and learnt a little bit. And I thought I'll give it a go and see if he, takes it on well, and if he can, start to sign back to me, and if it's going to work. And if it didn't, I was sort of not too bothered. It didn't actually, when you're teaching them the sign language, you're not really spending lots of time on it. You're doing these signs as you're doing a certain activity so that they sort of put the two together. So it doesn't really take any time out of your day. So I knew that, it wasn't going to be all for nothing if he didn't learn or if it didn't work well for him. So I thought I'd just give it a go. I learned a few basic symbols, signs, and we just did that each day. It's all about repetition. And eventually, a few months later, he started to sign back, which is so exciting. And now we communicate a lot through sign language. So most babies will be babbling before 12 months old, and they usually say the typical mama, baba, and dada symbols, but some might be saying a word or two as well. It's not usually until between 12 and 18 months that they start to also add some words to their vocabulary, and they just build from that. Certain words are going to be really easy for them to say, really simple words, but other words, they might understand what you're saying to them, but they can't say it back to you. So a lot of babies, toddlers, will use their own sign language to communicate with us, and a lot of the time we don't really recognize it as a sign language. So most toddlers will point to something that they want, or they'll put their hands up to us, sort of symbolizing that they want us to pick them up, things like that. Each toddler's going to do something a little bit different. And so just having a few signs that that help you to communicate with your child, it really, really helps each day. I found it absolutely wonderful. So as I said, we learnt just a few basic signs. So the ones we learnt were potty, food, sleep, water, and milk, and all done. I believe that's all we've learnt. And of course, hi and bye, which we all do every day. We wave, and that is also considered a sign. And really, we do it just so that we only do basic signs just so that we can know Nate's basic needs. We don't always know exactly what he wants, but doing these signs with each other, he can communicate with us of something that he wants, if he's hungry or if he wants to have a milk feed, or maybe he's ready for bed, and he can tell us that. So a common misconception with baby sign language is that the child is going to have, they're just going to use sign language to communicate and they're not going to talk, and it's going to delay their speech. That is definitely a myth. I actually spoke to a lady who works in pediatrics, and she's a speech therapist, so specifically speech with children. And I did ask her this, and she said, no, it's absolutely a myth. She said that toddlers and children, not babies, but toddlers and children that she works with that do have like a delayed speech development, she will do sign language with them or teach them certain signs, and that actually helps them to develop that speech. So that's really, really interesting. So if you're worried that will be an issue, know that it isn't, and it actually does help them a lot. So how we started was I watched some YouTube videos on how to do the signs, And then I chose the ones that we wanted to do with Nate, and it's really important to only do a few. You don't want to overwhelm them doing a sign for every single thing you're doing throughout the day. Just choose a few basic ones, probably 5 or so, and then you have to do them every single time you do that particular activity. And it's also important to say the word that you're doing. So for example, this is food, just tapping your mouth. And so anytime we would put him in his high chair or give him a snack, we would say food and tap our mouth until he could eventually respond to us by tapping his mouth if he wanted food. And we found that, I think we started this about 7 months, when he was about 7 or 8 months old, and he started signing back between 9 and 10 months. And he only did one sign at a time. I think food might have been one of his first ones because it's very simple. And then he eventually started to do the others. But it does take time, and there's a lot of repetition. So you just need to remember to do it every single time. If you just do it a few times and then stop for a while, they're not going to understand it. So this is food. And then for milk, it's this. And he knows how to do that. He often does it with both hands when he wants milk. Sleep. I actually made that one up. I don't know what the sign for sleep is. It could be that, but I just made that up. And when he does the sleep, he actually just puts his hand over one eye. And then we've just started doing water, which is a W shape with your fingers, and then you tap your chin. He hasn't done that one back, but I've only just started doing that one. And it is a bit harder. I don't know if he's going to put 3 fingers exactly up to tap his chin. And then we have potty or toilet, which is just you make a fist and shake. That one's pretty simple. But it can be confused with waving. He does do both of them, and they do look very similar. So we do food, milk, water, potty, sleep. And then the last one is all done. All done is this. So you just make your hand flat and shake it. All done. And he does that one as well. That took him actually much longer to learn. He learned that one maybe a month or so ago, not till after he was 12 months old. And I think because all done relates to so many activities, it doesn't relate to something very specific, like food is very specific, whereas all done could be, you know, he's all done eating his food, he's all done going to the potty, we're all done doing this activity, playing maybe, and now I'm moving on to something else. It took him a long time to understand that concept that all done can relate to anything that we're doing. So they are the signs that we do each day to communicate. And that's it. It's really, really simple. You can go on YouTube and find different signs, the ones that relate to you, or you can make up your own. Like I mentioned, I made up the sleep one. Very, very simple. And then it's all about repetition with kids. That's how they learn. So you just have to continue doing that sign every time you do that activity. And as I said, it's also really important to say the word that you're signing as well. So this whole experience, look, I think it's been amazing. I'm definitely going to do it again with our next child. And we're just going to keep communicating this way. He does say words. I think his speech development's quite good. And yeah, we'll just see how that pans out, and if his speech continues to develop quite well alongside the sign language. But I'll definitely keep doing it because it helps us in every situation. You know, if we're hanging out playing and all of a sudden he stops and does the potty symbol, I know to put him on the toilet or the potty because he needs to go. You know, or if he's maybe it's nearing morning tea time and he knows he's getting hungry, he wants his snack now, he can tell me food. That's really helpful when we're out and about because I can get really distracted doing things. I'll have snacks packed for him and he can just tell me he wants food. And you know, it's another way for them to communicate with us without whinging and crying. So that's really helpful. And he doesn't often do the sleep one. But when we were away on holidays, we sort of threw his schedule out the window because it's hard to keep to one on holidays. We were hanging out at a friend's place and we had dinner, and we sort of just let him play for a bit, and we thought we'd just watch him and see when he gets tired, and then we might try to put him down at our friend's place and then eventually go home with him. And we weren't too concerned, and he played for a bit, and then he came over to me and he put one hand over one eye to tell me it's sleep time, and I put him down in their spare room and he went straight to sleep. So that was really cool that he would communicate that with me. He doesn't do that at home, but he does often do food or potty. He does all done now, all the time now that he's learnt it, and that one I think is actually probably the best one, because if he's, you know, eating dinner or something and he knows he's done, he might be whinging or something, and I try to offer him some other food and he's shaking his head no, he can just tell me all done, and then I know he's full and we'll clean up. Also really good if I put him on the toilet and he's doing his business and I don't know where he's at, you know, I don't know what he feels. And so I can ask him, Nate, are you all done? And, you know, he'll shake his head yes, or he'll do the, you know, all done, or he'll say no and continue doing what he's doing. So I do find that one really, really helpful. Yeah, so that's it. They're the signs. Very, very simple process. And now I'm going to show you a few clips of Nate doing those hand symbols, you know, in amongst his day, in amongst everything that we do, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. Yummy, yummy. Did you like your food? Food, yes. Nettie, have you finished your meal? All done? Yeah, all done. Good job. What's milk? Can you show me what milk is? Good job. Nathaniel.
Do you want to go to sleep?
Oh, sleep.
Yeah, sleep.
Good job.
Sleep.
So there you go. There are the signs. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learnt something, and I hope it has inspired you to look into a different form of communication with your child before they have the means to, you know, say certain words, before they have that vocabulary development. They can communicate with you in this form. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Please make sure you hit the like button if you like this video, and make sure you subscribe to my channel to see more videos similar to this one.